This morning, we have new details emerging about the suspect accused of killing UnitedHealthcare CEO Brian Thompson. Investigators are adjusting what they said earlier. They now believe he took a different route out of New York City to evade police, and there's no indication he was ever insured by the company. Jarred Hill has more on this.
This morning, police say they have new information on how the man accused of killing UnitedHealthcare CEO got out of New York. Investigators believe Luigi Mangione rode a bike through Central Park after allegedly killing Brian Thompson, then took a cab to a major bus terminal in Upper Manhattan just to go back downtown, possibly taking the subway to New York's Penn Station. From there, investigators question whether Mangione fled to Pennsylvania by train. Authorities also say they found evidence that Mangione knew UnitedHealthcare was hosting its investor conference in New York before the shooting, and that while there's no indication Mangione was ever insured by the company, UnitedHealthcare and its CEO may have been targeted because of its status as the nation's biggest health insurer. It all comes as CBS News has learned the Manhattan DA's office has begun presenting evidence to a grand jury in order to get him back to New York.
I trust the DA here in Manhattan to make sure that he puts forth an indictment that is going to be ironclad.
Investigators say when Mangione was arrested, he had a spiral notebook with him where he wrote about considering using a bomb over a gun, and he had a 3D printed firearm that police say matched the shell casings found at the murder scene. Police also say his fingerprints were found on items near the scene. Mangione is currently being held in a maximum security prison in Pennsylvania, fighting extradition.
It just gives them more time to prepare their defense.
A hearing has been set for December 30th. Jarred Hill, CBS News, New York.
Joining us for more analysis on all of this is Kirk Burkhalter. You'll recognize him. He's a former detective with the NYPD, a professor of law at the New York Law School, and, a friend of the network, helping us understand cases like this. And Kirk, there's so much attention on what this man is suspected to have done. As a former detective, why are these latest details about the spiral notebook and this odd route out of New York so important for prosecutors?
So first, good morning. And they're important for two reasons. First and foremost, juries like to hear all the loose ends tied up. So if there's information out there, what the motivation was, for instance, and how did he arrive at the scene of the crime and egress from the scene of the crime, if those factors are not explained, juries, I won't say they would acquit, but they certainly feel more comfortable with all the loose ends tied up. They do not necessarily go to the elements of the crime. The prosecution's not obligated to prove motive. However, it's helpful. The other way that this is important is in case, which is likely here, the defendant claims for some reason that he's not guilty by reason of insanity. He would have to prove that at the time of the crime, by reason of mental disease or defect, he didn't understand the nature and consequences of his actions or that they were wrong. Planning the crime and planning the escape from the crime tends to show that he knew what was wrong. And further, this information from the notebook that he didn't want to harm others, he had a specific target here in New York, tends to show that he understood the nature and consequences of his actions. So all this information is actually extremely important with regards to the Manhattan District Attorney building a case against him.
You make a really interesting point as you speak about the state of his mind and the potential insanity plea, because unlike many other murder cases, there is a red-hot spotlight on this, with people even supporting the suspect, wanting to raise money to defend him. Help us understand, as someone who is a professor of law, how his state of mind will be central to a grand jury, either, passing down more charges or saying maybe it's someone else.
Well, first and foremost, it's just incredibly basic that the state of mind always factors into any crime. That is one of the elements the prosecution's obligated to prove by due process of law. And in this case, that's the mens rea. It is intent. Now, I mentioned that, for instance, motive is not an element of the crime, but motive can be used to prove intent. It's kind of rare people say, I intend to do something. So quite often intent is proved by circumstances and facts and so forth. And perhaps at some point he may claim that he did not have the intent. So his state of mind is incredibly important. And it's also important with regards to his ability to stand trial and mount a defense. And as I mentioned, should he plead not guilty by reason of insanity, which is certainly a possibility here.
All right, this is why we call on you, Kirk Burkhalter. Thanks for waking up with us this morning. We appreciate it.
You're quite welcome.